or the flexi flips. Hey everybody, Kathleen here. I have a note to myself to keep it short today and not ramble. Let's see how successful we are. This is episode lucky 13, and I have show notes, so I'm going to try and keep on track here. Want to welcome any new viewers I have. Thanks so much for surfing in here, and hope you enjoy what you see. And for my longtime viewers, thanks so much for sticking around and coming back. Well, I really appreciate you guys being here. Where can you find me? I am most active on Instagram and a little bit active on Ravelry. Not super active. I try to remember to post things on there, but more than anything, you'll see me really active on Instagram. Happy holidays, by the way. This is December 27th of 2021. And yeah, so 2021 is almost in the rearview mirror. So looking forward to 2022. I got a really cool, and I don't know if you can tell yet, I got a really game-changing, that's maybe an overused term, tool for my video. And I got a DJI OM5 gimbal. And what this will do is allow me to take much higher quality, more professional video, especially as far as live action. An example right now would be, look Mom, no hands, and the camera's following me. So this tool allows me to move around a little bit, be a little bit more mobile, and take very stable video. So I'm really looking forward to the content I'm going to be able to bring you.
Could you say that again? Sorry.
Didn't say your name. Sorry. Somehow my SIRI knew or heard me talking to her. I don't know why. Anyway, this will allow me to bring more content to you. So you may see more lifestyle. You may see more of me kind of out and about and what's going on in our lives. We do have a big vacation coming up in February, so you'll probably see quite a bit of content from that. But this tool will allow me to take much better video quality, and I'm really looking forward to what this brings. So we shall see. Meanwhile, I might be doing stuff like this because it's kind of fun to play with. Let's see. And speaking of evolving content, this tool might actually mean that I'm able to bring you some things that before I didn't really seem able to do, or the quality of the video just wasn't good enough. So I really wasn't trying to bring that content to you. So like going out to that coop and seeing the hens and just kind of the day-to-day stuff, maybe visiting the yarn shop. I'm going to try to remember to always have this device on me so that I can use it at a moment's notice. So hopefully you'll see some more interesting content as a result. Let's see. Did you pick a word of the year? That's a kind of a big deal these days, word of the year, and a lot of people are sharing their word of the year. And I feel like, for me, really, I feel like the word of the year is a very personal thing. And if you are comfortable sharing your word of the year, feel free to share it in the comments below. But my word of the year for 2022 is pretty personal, and I feel like if I share it, I might diminish it a little bit. And so for now, it's going to stay quiet. I feel like there's something big coming in 2022. I don't know what. I don't even know why I feel that, but for whatever reason, I feel like there's some kind of big life thing coming for me in 2022. We shall see. What I'm wearing. Okay, so, I know it's a petite knit, and I don't remember what it's called. Okay, so I'll put it in the comments below what I'm wearing because I don't even remember what it's called. Like, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's like right here, and it can't get it from here to here. Oh well, whatever. It's a great sweater. This is that yarn, and I've shown this plenty of times before. This is that yarn that I dyed myself. It is non-superwash, and it's slightly felted when I dyed it. I dyed it using cochineal, natural dyed, and I love the way it looks. It, let's see if I can do this. It just wants to follow me. So I can't really, well, I guess I could kind of show you this way. So you can kind of see a little bit of this striping effect going on here. That is minimized. God, I hope I didn't just flash you. That'd be really bad if I just flashed you. It's minimized a little bit because I did helical knitting on this. And so it's not pools of color. Instead, it's kind of a little bit of striping going on. And that's because it's natural dyed yarn and it's not super consistent. The yarn actually had, in places where when it was in the pot, if it touched the bottom of the pot, there was some cochineal, like, cochineal is a bug, an insect that's ground up that you use to achieve this color, this kind of pinkish purple color. And it doesn't like completely, what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't completely mix into the water. So it doesn't dissolve. That's what I'm looking for. And so because of that, you have some of those little bits of it on the bottom, and it kind of clumps a little bit. So you mix it up as much as you can, but you're still going to have some of it just kind of settling down to the bottom of the pot. And where it touches, where the yarn touched any like clumps of the cochineal powder, for lack of a better term, you'll see like it's like darker, like little darker spots. And that would be where it touched the cochineal, the skein touched. But otherwise, I mean, overall, it's pretty uniform other than those little speckles. And oh, sorry about that. And I feel like the speckles kind of make it a little more interesting anyway. So I love this sweater. It's really super comfortable. Again, like I've said before, make sure you swatch, because swatching means that your end product is actually going to fit correctly, or at least fit to the schematics that you chose, the size you chose. It fits great. I really love this sweater. I wear it quite a bit when it's cool enough, and it looks nice on, it fits well, it's very comfortable, it's not overly hot. I don't like a lot on my neck, so it's not like it's uncomfortable to wear, pretty much regardless of the weather, whether it's, I mean, you know, cool weather, but here I am rambling. What was my first notes to myself? Keep it short, don't ramble. All right, enough of the rambling. That's what I'm wearing. This is what I'm wearing. Check the comments below. Okay, now on to my finished objects. So I have quite a few things that I've finished lately, and we'll start with the bandana cowl. So this is a cowl that I made. I actually made this in like a day or two. And this one is for me. This one is in Malabrigo Mecca yarn in the color Jupiter. And I actually made another one as a gift for a coworker during the holidays. I think you just saw my husband right there, somewhere in there. So I made one for my coworker for our Secret Santa. I made her one of these, and I have to tell you, this yarn, I don't want to put it up to my neck because then it'll mess with the microphone, but oh my gosh, it is so squishy and cozy, and it is a delight to wear. So I made one for a coworker, and I was like, I like this, I think I want one. So I made one for myself. Hers was in like a stormy gray color, and I don't remember what the name of that color was. I don't think I have the tag for it anymore. But mine actually, it should have only taken one skein, but I was like a row and a half, like a row and my bind off short. So I had to go buy another skein just to do my last row and my bind off. And the previous one that I had made, where is it? The previous one I had made, come on, wait for it. So the one, oh, here it is. The one I had made for my coworker, I had done, excuse the crinkle. I had done it in this color. And you can see I have this little nugget left. I mean, that's easily enough to do a final row and a bind off. And so I thought, well, okay, hi honey. So I thought when I make one for myself, I'm just gonna need one skein, right? Wrong. So I don't know if it's because, you know, like these are not perfect. You know, it says it's however many grams and however many yards to the gram, but you know, in reality, it probably is, they're probably not all identical. And so while I had this much left for the first one, I was short on the second one, so I had to go out and buy another one. Thankfully, this is no dye lot, so I was able to go and not worry too much about it looking odd for like that last row. So, but the experience was good enough in making it. I really enjoyed making it. It was super fast, super easy. And the end product is just so wearable. If I didn't have this microphone on, I would totally put it on for you, but just trust me when I have pictures on Instagram, but just trust me when I tell you, this really is, you could wear it either as a scarf underneath your coat, or like I wore it on, I think I wore it on Christmas Day. I had a black like 3/4 sleeve sweater on, just like a commercially made sweater that has a fairly low neck, and I was like, ooh, I'm a little cool. So I put this on, and it just looks like a cozy, comfy bandana, and it just fills that space where it's a little bit cool. So I think I'm going to be wearing this a lot. I have a feeling this is going to be in heavy rotation, and this color goes with a lot of things that I have. So one is a gift, one for myself. And then I bought a couple more skeins. So I have this skein, which is kind of fun. It's the same yarn. It's Malabrigo Mecca. This color is called Arco Iris. It's really pretty. I think it'll make a really interesting cowl because it's got all these different colors. It's got green and yellow and red and purple, some dark blue. It's got like a whole bunch of really cool colors. Sorry, I got a notification on my phone. So I'm not sure who this one will be for. Maybe it'll be for me, I don't know, but it might be a gift. I'm not really sure. The nice thing about these is they knit up so fast that you can make them as gifts. And I mean, like if you find out on Monday you got to go to a birthday party on Friday, this is your jam. So that is going to be for I don't know who. And then I also decided, I'm just gonna pick up my whole basket. I literally started this last night, like around 10 o'clock at night. And I mean, check it out. I'm almost done. I'm literally on, so I finished, these are all short rows that you use to make the V part of the bandana. And then now I'm on the neck part of it. Now I'm on this part of it. So there's, I think, 6 decreases in here, kind of scattered through. And this color of this one's for my daughter. This color is just, I mean, this color, and it's kind of blowing out from the sunshine because the sun is just kind of coming through that window on over here. But it's like an indigo color. It is like a really true indigo blue. And it's so indigo that I kind of wonder if there's indigo in it, because as I was knitting this last night, and again this morning when I was knitting on it, and maybe right now while I'm handling this, my hands were turning black, like blue, brown, black kind of combo, really weird. I did not have a problem with this one, the dye transferring onto my hands as I was knitting it, but this one is completely transferring onto my hands. So I'm a little bit worried that this is going to like create a ring around my daughter's neck. So when I block it, because I do wet block everything, because the way I see it, I mean, at some point your sweater's going to need to be washed, right? So I don't steam block. I wet block anything that is going to be worn and potentially has to be washed. You know, like, there's another notification. Ooh. Sorry. Anyway, I wet block because if I'm going to wear it, I am likely going to get something on it and it's going to need to be washed. So I wet block it because at some point I'm going to have to wash it anyway. So I make sure that I wet block first and get it the way I like it. So this color, this indigo blue color, kinda, sorta, looks like the real color, is called Persia. Persia. Oh, this is kind of oh, the tag is upside down on there. Anyway, it's number 852 Persia. The red one is Jupiter, and I don't remember what the gray color was, and I don't seem to have the tag for it. So the bandana cowl is by Purl Soho, and it is a free pattern on their website. So go check it out. I think it's purlsoho.com if I'm not mistaken. And it is a breeze to knit. It is a delightful, quick knit, very satisfying for that reason. So that is a finished object and a whip crossed into the land of the unknown. Anyway, so that's it for finished objects. Oh, no. That's not it for finished objects. I almost forgot. Okay, so if you follow me on Instagram, and excuse me because I'm dying of thirst. This is literally like my favorite thing. I drink a lot of these. Okay, so if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen the adventures of the rooftop landing hat. So what happened is, so first of all, the pattern is by Amy Alexander of Polka Dot Sheep. You can get the pattern on her website, polkadot.sheep.com, or it's also on Ravelry. I think it's under her Amy Alexander. It's AIMEE Alexander. I think that's what she is on Ravelry, or maybe she's Polka Dot Sheep. I can't remember. Anyway, she came out with this pattern this late fall, I guess, and legit, I fell 100% in love with this pattern when I saw it, and I thought, I need that in my life. I need to make it, and I need to make it for my husband because my husband loves kind of like the Nordic ski kind of sweaters, the yoke sweaters and the hats and stuff like that. And so I got this bee in my bonnet that I was going to make it, and I went to my local yarn shop and picked up some, it's done in sport weight. Went to my local yarn shop and went to the sport weight section and picked up some yarn that I thought was sport weight because it was in that section. And it is this. This is from the Fiber Co. and this is their amble yarn. And on the tag, it says it's fingering. But when you read the weight, let's see if I can get this out of this easily. When you read the gauge on the tag, it kind of reads like a sport weight. So it's 355 yards, 325 meters per 100 grams. It says it's fingering, but it's also 32 stitches for 4 inches. So like that kind of sounds like sport weight. I think it straddles that line, quite frankly, between sport weight and fingering. I think this, I would maybe call this a heavy fingering, a light sport weight. And so I made the hat up, and when it was all done, it was too small. It was too small even for me. And I've got a pea-sized noggin. Like, this is a small head. And the hat was too small for me. It was gorgeous. If you go to my Instagram, you'll see it. I'll put a picture of it right here, of the first one. And so what I ended up doing was gifting that one to my coworker who has an 8-year-old daughter who I knew it would fit her now and maybe for a couple of years too. But there was no way, no how it was going to fit my husband's huge cranium. I mean, he has a big head. Yeah, he's got a lot of brains in there, but he's got a big head. And there was no, I mean, this hat was like tight on me. There was no way it was going to fit him. So, okay, fine. I have to make a second one. Oh darn. It's a color work pattern, and I do enjoy color work. The only thing I got a little frustrated with, and we'll talk about that in a minute, was the crown, and it really has to do with technique and what I'm comfortable with and not the pattern. So what I decided to do was order the yarn right from Polka Dot Sheep that she knitted in. She knit it in her Ski Town Sport, And so I thought, well, I'm going to knit it in Ski Town Sport. And I actually went up a needle size for my husband because I know typically I have to go up a needle size when I'm knitting. I'm a little bit of a tight knitter, and especially when I'm doing circular knitting. And okay, I'm just going to show you because it is stunning. I mean, this hat is literally probably the prettiest thing I have ever knit, bar none. This is it. This is the prettiest thing I've ever knit. The color is spectacular. So this is, the blue is Nightfall and the white is Beargrass. And they're the Ski Town Sport from Polka Dot Sheep. They're located, by the way, in Montana, in Whitefish, Montana. This design it's so well written. The chart is so good. I honestly don't know how Amy got this design from her head into a pattern, like into a chart. I don't even, because that's a reindeer. You totally know that's a reindeer. There is no question that that's a reindeer, and those are stars and all of the things. I'm blown away. And look at the crown. I mean, there's a star in the crown, and then there's all these little stars. It's spectacular. This is absolutely one of the most, it is the most beautiful thing I have ever knit. It even has a knit-in hem. So I don't know if you can see this, but it's got, so you actually start at the bottom, obviously. Well, maybe not obviously, but you start at the bottom at the hem, and you knit this section here, and then you do a purl row, and then you knit this section here, okay? Before you get to these little dots here. I don't know what you call it, checkerboard sort of. So you knit that, and then you fold this over. I don't want to give this all away, Amy. I'm sorry if I'm giving this away, but on her website, she has a tutorial for the knit-in hem. It's genius. It is literally genius. And it creates this gorgeous finished edge. Like, there's no folded brim. There's no cast on edge, because guess what? That cast on edge is now part of the hat. It's genius. And if you are not doing this hem, you need to try it. Like, just try it with like some other beanie hat you're making, because it really works with beanie hats. It wouldn't really work, or maybe berets. You know, it would work with beanies, it would work with berets. It wouldn't really work with something where you want that folded brim, right? Because you don't have the folded brim effect. I will turn it inside out, because if you do color work, you got to share your floats. And hello, are they beautiful or what? I mean, I took a class on how to do colorwork knitting at my local yarn shop, and dang, I am so glad I did it a couple years ago, because my floats are perfect. I catch mine every 5th stitch. So if it goes less than 5 stitches, I don't catch it. If it's more than 5 stitches in a run, then I catch it. And yeah, so I'll show it to you on. So it doesn't fit him. Bigger size, bigger gauge yarn, larger needle, and it still doesn't fit him. It fits me. But guess what? I don't look good in beanies. So I have a feeling this is going to be gifted to somebody, because I just don't look good in beanies. It really accentuates my pea head. So that is the rooftop landing hat. The saga of the rooftop landing hat. I'm going to make more of these. It is just such a fun pattern to knit. It is so easy to knit. Knits up really fast, and I adore her yarn. I may experiment a bit, and I think it's got some of my hairs. You ever knit and get some of your, I'm sure you do, you get some of your hair in your knitting. I think I'm going to experiment. I've never tried doing this before, but I think I'm going to experiment with maybe going up to a DK or worsted and try and convert this to DK or worsted weight. I think I need help from smarter knitters than me to figure out how to do that. And if you know how to do that, please share in the comments below or give me your email address or your phone number, whatever, and I'll call you, because I want to figure out how to go from this sport weight to either DK or worsted. I kind of feel like DK, like it's close enough that he puts it on. Oh, maybe it does look good. I don't know. He puts it on and it's like way too tight on him. It's clearly, he doesn't like beanie hats. It's clearly not comfortable. He needs something that's a little bit more roomy and I think a little heavier. Because it's the knitted on hem, it's really warm right here. Like this hat, it's color work too. So then, also because it's color work, you're basically wearing a 2 thickness hat because you've got all the floats back here. And then it has this folded over hem, which also has color work. So that's like 3 times the thickness there. So maybe I'll just leave it on. I don't know. What do you think? Does it work? I have a small head. I don't know if it works or not. I didn't want to ruin it by putting a pom-pom on the top, because that's the other thing I wanted to talk about was, you see this crown? Like, I would not ruin this hat by hiding the crown under a pom-pom. Even though pom-poms are super pretty. Maybe a little pom-pom, maybe a tiny. I know that people don't really do the small pom-poms. I do big ones now, but maybe a little pom-pom at the top. I don't know. But what I wanted to talk to you about was, so I knit this, you knit it on circular needles, on a 16-inch circular, and you do all the way out until you get to the point where it's like you're stretching your stitches too much and it's time to go down. And I tried to do magic loop, and it's really tricky to do color work in magic loop or even on the DPNs, which I ended up using. I have to say, I am not a fan of DPNs. I feel like you're either team DPN or team magic loop, or maybe even team 2 circular needles, which I maybe could have tried, or the flexi flips. I don't know. Maybe I could have tried something like that, because I tried at magic loop and I was not enjoying it. So I actually tinked it back to where I was back on the circular again, and then just got out some DPNs that I had up in my office/craft room upstairs. And I hated it. I literally hated the experience of knitting the top. And even the floats don't look as good in the top as they do in the rest of the hat. In the rest of the hat, my floats are flawless. They look so good. Like, you can even see the shadow of the reindeer in the floats. But when I got to the top, my floats are not nearly as good. And it really has a lot to do with the fact that I dislike DPNs and I had to use DPNs. But I think if I do this hat again, which I know I will, I'll probably maybe try 2 circulars, do it on 2 circulars, if you know that technique, or maybe some flexi flips. Flexi flips might actually be the way to go. I don't really know. I don't own any, so I would have to get some. Oh, speaking of needles, so I got this last year for Christmas. I would have to say, if there was one thing I would tell any knitter, anybody who knew they were going to probably be serious about knitting, there was one thing I'm going to tell you to get yourself, like the best tool, bar none, that you could possibly get for yourself. It's pricey, but it's worth it. I feel like I probably save money. If I had bought this to begin with when I first started knitting, I probably would have saved hundreds of dollars in needles, circular needles specifically. This is literally the best Christmas present I think I've ever gotten, aside from the DJI gimbal that I'm using right now. And I think I would recommend this to anybody who thinks they're serious about knitting. Invest in a set of circular, interchangeable circular needles. These happen to be ChowGoo. These are my favorite. And I think I have, oh yeah, they're all in here. So this is the set of the smaller size needles. This goes from size 2, well no, this is 2 to 15. Size 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 and a half, 11, 13, and 15. And it has all the cables as well. It is literally the best tool out of all the tools I have for knitting. I mean, if I had that when I first started knitting, I probably should have brought down my basket of circular needles that I have, because legit I have hundreds of dollars of circular needles. When you think about the cost of ADDIES and all of those needles and the Knit Picks and Knit Pros, whatever you call them in other countries, I probably have hundreds of dollars in circular needles. And if I had just had this, you can pretty much knit anything, unless you need multiples of one size, or you have multiple projects going that are using the same size needle. I mean, even still, because they're interchangeables, you could just put the little cap on the end and move from project to project, you know, and use the same size needles. But this legit replaces everything except 16 inch. So you can do 20, I think it comes out to be like 20 inches is the smallest size it'll go down to. So I do still have to have 16 inch circulars. And that's not a huge deal. I've already literally got pretty much every size that exists, and maybe even in multiples in 16 inch circulars. But this literally is the best tool you could have as a knitter. Highly recommend. It doesn't have to be ChowGoo. It can be Denise, it can be Knit Pro, it can be Knit Picks, it can be, there's so many other brands out there. But definitely a set of interchangeable circular needles, because I also do all my flat knitting on my circulars. So it literally replaces everything except the 16 inches. And if you like using like the little 12 and 9 inch circulars, maybe you like those too. They're not, that size is not inclusive. But the smallest I use honestly is a 16 inch. So that's the only thing I have to buy. Oh God, my hair's a mess now from putting the hat on. That's the only thing I have to buy separately. And I've already got, like I said, a bajillion of them. So, rambling. Rooftop landing, highly recommend. If your recipient has a bigger head though, I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe it's just because I'm a tighter knitter, but you know, it just didn't fit David. Didn't fit the hubs. And he was who I made it for originally. So, I don't know. We'll see. Gonna try it. Other whips I have, let's see, we did FOs. Yeah, this is the last FO. Actually, it's still kind of slightly damp too. My whips that I have are the bandana cowl that I just showed you, and my sprocket socks. So I always have a pair of socks on the go. Whoa. And today is no exception. And I can't remember, I think the last socks I had done was my husband's Petty Harbor socks that I had done. I'll put a picture of them here. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen them anyway. Just follow me on Instagram. Honestly, for Ravelry, I put it on there because I should, but Instagram is where legit everything goes. Probably more frequently than you really care to see. Anyway, so here are the sprocket socks. I do, as always, I do my socks 2 at a time. Okay, we had to take a short little break because apparently my phone storage was full. So I think where I left off was showing you my sprocket socks, and they are socks, and I have them on the go, and I always have socks on the go. I will show you more progress as I move along with those. Let's see, what to knit next. I don't have any, but I absolutely love PLÖTULOPI. It's PLÖTULOPI, if you're not familiar with it, is pencil roving basically, and it comes in what they call plates, which are like cakes that are like short but really big. So they're called plates. And I think I first saw PLÖTULOPI on the Autumn Acorn or on the Gentle Knitter, I can't remember, but it's something that I follow on Instagram, and it's something actually I hope I get for my birthday, because my birthday is next month, and I would love to get a few of the plates of the PLÖTULOPI. It is, because it's pencil roving, it's fairly fragile, so you could pull it apart, but when you knit it up into a garment, it's very, very strong. And because it's a very rustic wool, And it's a roving basically. It's very light and airy, but very warm. So it's not something I'll probably want to wear close to my skin, but it's something that you could wear as like a sweater you throw on over top of other things, or maybe mittens, something like that. So I'm kind of dreaming a little bit about knitting something up in PLÖTULOPI. Stay tuned, we shall see. Everybody talks about YouTube channels they love. I'm going to talk about some Instagram accounts that I love. Instagram is pretty much where I live as a knitter, and it's where I put all my projects and where I interact the most. And there are some accounts that I have been following for a long time that I absolutely love. Sorry if you can hear that, my husband's working on the house. We're on vacation this week, both of us, and so we're both home, and so you might hear a little bit of activity in the house. Anyway, so check out Nathan W. Pyle's Strange Planet, and check out ADRIAN BLISS. That's ADRIN BLISS, ADRIAN BLISS. Nathan W. Pyle is just he draws, I guess, comics. I don't know if he does it for, I don't know how he does it actually, but they're very funny, very brainy, and kind of nerdy. And then there's Adrian Bliss, who is a UK comedian whose Instagram account is irreverent and hysterical. It's literally my favorite thing right now. And then when it comes to knitting and crafting accounts, the ones that I am really enjoying lately and getting a lot of inspiration from are Stowaway Toys. She's in Russia, and it's Stowaway_Toys, I'm pretty sure. And she creates felted, whimsical objects, for lack of a better term. If you check out her account, I have tried to see if I could get one of her pieces, but they sell out. I mean, there's probably very labor intensive making them, so I doubt she makes very many, but they sell out very quickly. But I absolutely am in love with them, and when you see the account, you'll maybe understand why I like them. They're whimsical and unique, and they're really cool. And then, of course, Polka Dot Sheep was where I had seen this, and I get a lot of inspiration from her website. I love her yarn, and her yarns always inspire me. So Polka Dot Sheep is another one. I think my hair might be a little messy from having the hat on. And then, of course, for YouTube channels that I follow, of course, there's the old standbys, all the biggies, the Grocery Girls and Andrea Mowery. And actually, Andrea Mowery, her Friday afternoon podcasts are one of my favorites on YouTube, and I really enjoy how real she is in her videos. And then Stitching Over the Days. So if you watch Constance on Stitching Over the Days, she does not post with any kind of real regularity, but her style and her aesthetic is superb. She knits everything in a very classic style. Her colors are beautiful. Her color choices are beautiful. She has a few designers that she follows and really does a lot of their work, knits up a lot of their patterns. But her style is, her knitting and her sewing and her crochet is flawless. I mean, it is flawless. You need to check her out. And then the last one that I'll talk about today is Ina Knits. That's I-N-A Knits. She is in Norway. She is a knitter, and she's in Norway. And her podcast just gives me like the warm fuzzies. I just absolutely, it's so soothing to watch her her channel. So go check out her videos. But if you have any favorites, I really would love to hear of new Instagram accounts that I'm maybe not following yet, or YouTube channels that I need to check out. I love all things ASMR, so I've probably checked out all the ASMR videos there are out there. And then when it comes to knitting channels, I tend to prefer channels that are quiet. I mean, mine is not one of them, but I tend to prefer knitting videos that are, the delivery of them is fairly quiet. So I love The Gentle Knitter. I love Autumn Acorn Knits. I love Ina Knits for the same reason. I love when people talk about their knitting in a very calm and relaxing way. Maybe I should incorporate a little bit more of that into my life and my channel. I don't know. But if you have some suggestions for some that you are loving, either Instagram accounts or YouTube channels, I would love if you would comment below in the notes. I would love to hear, because I'm always looking for something new to watch. I also watch a lot of sailing videos, specifically catamarans and people that live aboard and have a cruising lifestyle. Those I do watch a lot of too. So if you have any that you're watching of those, I watch SV Delos, I watch Gone with the Wynns, I watch WeSail, there's a couple others, Tranquillo, and there's a couple others I watch too. But so any great suggestions you have. We don't watch regular TV. We literally just watch YouTube pretty much primarily. And so some suggestions would be awesome. I would love to hear them. And then let's see, 2022 is coming. Where's winter? This is northern Colorado, and we haven't had any kind of snow yet on the Front Range where I live. So hello, Mother Nature, where are you? Get your butt back here because we need the snow. And yeah, so, and then other than that, of course, there's the hens, and those hens apparently have taken a hiatus. I hope they're not in retirement, because I've had to buy eggs in the grocery store for the past 2 months. I'm not kidding. 13 hens, no eggs. What's up with that? Yes, they're all like 2 or 3 years old now. We get into the fall and the winter, and the days are shorter, the days are colder, although this year it's not really cold. And hens naturally take a break from laying eggs, depending on the breed you get. And that's a good thing, because you got to give their little bodies a break. So I don't use any supplemental light in my coop to try and extend the days and try and get them to lay eggs longer than they naturally would. I would prefer, my hens are all organic, their bedding's organic, their feed is organic, everything's organic. And I prefer that their life be as natural as possible, considering that they're like a semi-domesticated animal that's, or domesticated, I guess, that's living in my backyard in a coop. I don't want to do anything to unnaturally extend their egg laying and maybe hasten their demise as a result. So I don't do any supplemental light or heat in my coop. They don't need heat in their coop unless your area gets like below 110 regularly. They don't need heat in the coop. There's no heater in my coop. There's nothing. They are perfectly comfortable. It's gotten down to -6, and my hens are perfectly fine. No frostbite, no nothing. So I believe in, I buy breeds that are heat and cold tolerant and that can tolerate our cold winters, and our summers are thankfully not super long, but they can get pretty hot on some days. I do put ventilation in their coop. I do have a fan in there in the summer. I wouldn't let them suffer, but I don't heat their coop. They don't need it, not in my climate. So so they're on their hiatus right now. I'm having to buy eggs in the grocery store. Not super thrilled about that, but I know that they're going to start laying again soon. And with this awesome new device that I have, that I'm just so stoked about, it's just like the coolest thing. I'm going to take some more video of the girls, of the hens, back out in the coop and, out in the yard or whatever. And yeah, so we'll just add a little bit more content. And so maybe there'll be some at the end of this video, maybe not. I don't know. I've been playing around with editing. I might add some pieces in here that I've been editing too and having fun with. Some of it's on Instagram, so you might have seen some of it there. But yeah, so that's all I've got for 2021. I feel like it's been a great year for my channel and for my videography skill. My editing and my video taking skill has definitely improved, and I'm hoping that 2022 brings even more improvement and a little bit more interesting and maybe more content. So anyway, thanks for watching, and cheers to 2021. Get your butt out of here. Let's look forward to 2022 and all the 2022 is going to bring for all of us. Happy crafting, everybody, and Happy New Year. Bye.